the big house in Al Gore, the big house in Nashville, or Al Gore, the big house in Washington, or Al Gore, the big house now in Santa Barbara, Al Gore, the big house in San Francisco. He has 5 houses, you know, and this is the man who says we should live, you know, more modestly.
I want his carbon footprint.
I mean,
there's people down here who want to ask questions in the front row as well.
Do you know anything about Al Gore owning ownership in any corporations that are going to trade carbon footprint or carbon credits if the cap and tax passes?
Yeah,
and what is the name of the company, if you know that?
There's a hedge fund in New York. I don't know what the name of it is offhand, but basically, what is it? Kleiner Perkins. Kleiner Perkins, yeah, is the hedge fund that he's heavily invested in. And if cap and tax passes, he is going to be a carbon billionaire, basically. All his money has been invested.
He calls that putting his money where his mouth is, and he calls that, being standing up for his beliefs. But what's the difference between him then and an oil executive or a coal executive wanting to stop cap and trade?
He has a vested interest.
The New York Times, in their headline on how Al Gore's going to become the first carbon billionaire, they say, Al Gore, the dual role, advocate and investor. If I was an oil executive, they'd call it conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest. He's pushing public policy, and he's going to stand to be a billionaire out of it. If it was any other industry, any other person, the New York Times would be up in arms. But because it's Al Gore, he gets a buy ball, and he seemed to be caring and investing in what he believes in. So, but thank God that the internet's out there. Thank God that there are alternative sources of news now, and Al Gore's coming under pressure. In the old days, he would never have been questioned about this. But now, people like the Tea Party people are creating such a fuss that the mainstream media is actually being forced to ask difficult questions of these people. But it's not fun. I mean, I don't know if you saw me trying to ask him a difficult question. Even my fellow journalists. That was the crazy thing about it. I went to Society of Environmental Journalists to ask Al Gore a question, and the natural reaction of the journalists was not to put the billionaire investor / Al Gore multimillionaire politician under pressure. It was to cut my mic off. But we've got YouTube now, and the act of a journalist committing an act of journalism got 500,000 hits on YouTube. So they can't keep the truth down any longer. It's going to get out there. And I think the Tea Party people are a major part of that getting the